August 1st, 2025. Metronome Madness, episode 15. Y'all hearing me? Is it alright with the mic? Got a little bit of wind noise. It's alright. That's what I enjoy. The natural kind of life I live. Look at this. Y'all maybe can't see all that well, but I'm out here trekking down a trail. Got a road on the side, but don't worry. I'm gonna go over here, but not to hide, just to get off into a little bit of a place that's more my kind of pace. A lot of these people rushing and running to a job or two. Had a lot of jobs, dude. I didn't enjoy it. What's up? I'm not toying. My name's Evan Strong. I'm the founder of In The Image Clothing Company. Trying to figure out how to start this, because we all miss the beginning. Every now and then relate to things, I say some things that people can relate to, though. And that's one of them. I'm a human being. That guy's not, though. He likes to hop, bro, from one thing to the next. But unperplexed, because that's the thing he was supposed to do. Designed by God to hop around. It's a grasshopper. But when I get in the grass, what I'm doing is stopping. Taking a little bit of a break and feeling it between my toes. I played volleyball last night, actually. In the sand, man. Talk about the sand, man. Sands of time. Always just running out, huh? I'd rather be walking in. Walk in on some things and try to change it up a bit. People doing things for a long time and they don't like what they're doing. It's kind of a gift and a curse, though, Quitting things that I don't like before I stay in them for all that long. A lot of people say, hey, it's your first day, stick around, you might like it. And I say, no, there's a lot of things that I can tell that I'm not going to like by the first second that I set my eyes on them, But this is In The Image Clothing Company music. This is Metronome Madness, as I said, where we do this. We meaning me, at least. Just a little kid on a trail right now. Sometimes I got my tail tucked down. It's funny, I say a lot of bold things, but then sometimes you might see me in public and be like, hey, is this the same person I saw behind the screen? He's sitting there yelling about some stuff, talking about some things. But then I get out and around the people in the world, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy cow. Big old toilet bowl of things swirling around. I'm just used to this. That's the difference. I'll be sitting inside my room on the floor filming an episode of In The Image Clothing Company podcast. I'm stuttering because this is a different kind of approach for me to going about saying things. But I like it. This one we can call, well, who is it that you say that I am? Because it's kind of funny. It's not that I pretend, but I will get in public, And all of a sudden I'll try to speak and choke just a little bit, Because I'm just a little kid, bro. I think that's the beautiful thing we need to see about all of us, There's no other way to enter the kingdom of heaven besides humbling yourself and being as a little child. Not childish, but childlike. Liking the things the child's like. Children like, But if I were a child, I'd mess up on my words a few times. Trying to learn how to speak some things and especially try to do off the top rhymes, right? But I'm in the limelight now. Whatever that means. It looks more blue than green to me. But anyway, I'm just doing things, right? I'm just on my little journey here in the Image Clothing Company. What is it? Does anybody know? I'm really, really excited for the day that a lot of people do. And not for me, but honestly for you. Because we got things that we're going to involve people with. Involve yourself. An episode of In The Image Clothing Company podcast. There's a river right down here. And I've been talking about how we're going to do Clean the Creek Poodle Parade events. We're going to bring people together in a lot of different ways, and people aren't going to really understand why we're called a clothing company. Although, we'll make it very clear who it is that we're designed in the image of. Metronome Madness, y'all. Y'all can't catch this ball. I've been rolling around things, like a dung beetle. Just kind of picking up other people's trash. Just trying to have a good time. And what used to be an open line is now a place that if I go, I crash. Right? I get stumbled and stopped by someone with some kind of authority, so it seems. That's what they're telling me, at least. I don't even know what that means. Authority from who? Authority from what? What kind of authority would give you the right to step on somebody else's toes, who God knows is equal to you? I do have this whole thing with authority. I'll tell you that much. I'm a respectful kid. As long as the people that are asking for respect are respecting this, the commandments of our God. Hypocrisy is something I don't like at all. It's something I do not like whatsoever. That doesn't mean that I'm not a hypocrite. But a lot of people just don't look at their own life. Trying to change things, but they'll try to change people all the time. They'll look around at everybody else and say, hey, you're not doing this right. I'm telling you to look in a mirror when they don't own one. Right? Well, it's all right. We've all got roles to play, Those that go down underground in their burrow, dig a few holes. And those that fly around in the sky, try to dive down. I need those. There can't be one without the other. Can't be a son without a mother. We get married to things sometimes. Waiting for that bridegroom to come back, though. A lot of us are just trying to sneak in the back door. Right? Rather than entering through that straight and narrow gate on the front lines. Do you see what I'm saying? Fighting our way, trying to get back to the place we came. Officer, I'm just trying to get back home. I'm sorry you stopped me, but I hardly care a single little ounce about these laws that actually just damage us as a society. I think it's funny, though, because I like to follow the law. I really do. We're commanded to, But also, you get some people in some positions sometimes, They think they're all higher and holier. Yeah. Because they're bigger than you and got a bigger mouth. That's funny. Laughing at your own jokes. Metronome Madness, dude. Sometimes it takes a minute or two to get really in it, where you think you ought to be, right? I'm flowing so good now. I'm like an ocean would. How? Oceans don't flow, they just kind of sit in the same location. Well, it depends on who you're asking and what kind of boat you're shaking. Because I'm sitting here walking the waves, and I'm walking across things. Not the water, I don't mean it like that. Just to be clear. But I do like to walk a lot. I like to walk around situations that seem so stagnant. Kind of look around at people like, are y'all just a magnet to the seat underneath your bottom? Oh man, it's funny though, you're not sitting on the bottom. You're like 1.5 feet off the ground. We're always just like halfway there. Halfway to God and halfway to the grave. Halfway from the womb and halfway to today. But we never quite know where we actually are. Trying to shoot some rockets up to Mars to try to find a new home when we already got one, but half of you don't know. It's not me versus you. I'm just saying though, right? I'm just saying. It happens, right? I ask that a lot of the time. And I'm not asking for an answer when I ask, right? It's more of just like, hey, I'm gonna leave this here, stew on it, Think about it. Mix it up in your little gumbo pot in your head and see if you can actually understand what I said. Because it doesn't matter if I am right. But can we think about some things? In a life that just seems to be give and take, as in they'll give it to us and we'll take it for truth without finding out if it is. And a lot of times give and take is actually on one end. Because you can word it like that, They gave it to me, I took it. You seem mad at me and you shouldn't be. Because actually I had less before and they gave me things and now I've got more. So really I should be grateful, right? Hey, I'm not asking for agreeance. I'm just asking if we're really seeing what's going on. And taking a lot of handouts nowadays, And I got my hand out, but more like, hey, what is going on? The palm turned up, but more like, turned out to be that I had two of them on either side of my body, like, I don't know. And I get it. It seems appealing. We're peeling things that end up tripping us up later. You see what I mean? We're opening so much packaging that we slip back down that slope. Thought we were so rich until we spent all the money and now, nope, sorry. That's kind of the catch about it, is that you can't. It keeps on running, Really, things just keep on running. The wind keeps on blowing. The water keeps on flowing. The birds keep on going until their last day and they dive down to the ground again. Then they get dragged underneath the ground by a snake. I don't know. I do know. I just don't want to sound like I do all the time, I don't know everything. But what I really, really am grateful for is really, actually, truly what In The Image Clothing Company actually is. It's going to be so cool. It's cool for me right now, but everybody else that's all around that's getting affected by the same things that I know how to overcome can overcome the things that I give the information about. It causes me to trip up and stutter because I'm just genuine about it. The gratitude I have for this. Everybody's got a body. Can you catch the wording? Everybody. There's only one way the human body could ever work. I've been given understandings by God on how to allow that to happen. Which is something that as a kid I could only imagine. I've had 6 heart surgeries, a lot of physical therapy for things. I've been through a lot. Like NF says, right? I've been through a lot. I don't know how to express it to people. Don't think that I can. Although, Nate, I remember listening to his songs a lot as a teenager, into my 20s. Still in my 20s. But when I felt like I was on empty. He was expressing things that I was going through and he probably didn't even know. He's probably sitting there questioning himself like, man, is what I'm saying actually doing anything? Does it matter to anyone? Or does anybody actually see what I'm going through? I know I do, Nate. But we don't need to be doing things to be seen by human beings. But we can do things for human beings to see. Because there's a lot of stuff that helps other people. To understand that we're going through things too. You know? You don't have to speak about it for it to be happening. You You don't have to believe it for it to be true. Life is what life is, whether you're an elderly person or a youth. You're looking around trying to figure out how to not drown in this big old ocean of life. Well, we're all floating in it, right? Well, you're going to try to go find something else or somewhere else or someone else to help when there's all these people all around who, even if they don't speak about it, sometimes wonder if they're going to make it or drown. Even this guy, he probably wonders sometimes, where's his next meal going to come from, right? From the biggest to the smallest, we're all just on the same planet. I don't think y'all can imagine, because I know I can't. The expansiveness of life that we can have when we serve Jesus Christ and just grab all that he's got for us. Talk about an outstretched hand. Talk about Simon Peter walking across the waves. He's just a person like us. But you know what's so crazy about it is so was God. In the form of Jesus Christ, yeah, fully almighty, yet completely a human being, to show us some things that we can't comprehend. It doesn't even make sense. But somehow Simon Peter walked out there, being a person just like me. He got a few feet across the waves. 1, 2, maybe 3. Talk about trinities, you know what I'm saying? But he started looking left and right at the waves of life and said, hey, I don't know, I might drown down here with the sharks, and they're meant to swim, and I'm just a kid. My feet are best working on the dry land. But sometimes I feel like I never can. You know, Peter Pan. You hearing this, man? We're just children. And all of the same person, too. We've got a Father who actually knows everything perfectly, dude. Truly. God just doesn't, he's not someone who, it's not like there's just some, but it's God. We're talking about an almighty being who knows all things, who can help us with every one of our needs, bring us to our knees when we need a little bit of humbling, give us some sustenance when our stomach starts grumbling, deliver some understandings when we'll start wondering, right? And that's why I ask it, right? As in, doesn't that make sense? You don't gotta agree with me, but can you please just think about some things a little bit? In a life where we're just getting fed with outstretched hands. This is what I'm saying. It's the whole give and take. And I'm getting emotional. There's a lot that we'll take if we're given it. But a lot of times we're just giving in to the world. Because really we're commanded to be the ones to give. Without desire for compensation or recognition. Give the clothes off our back. If we're asked to go 1 mile, we'll go 2. So I'm out here walking, dude. There's the cows again. I'm back in town with them, These girls out here. It's actually what's in my bottle. It's milk. I think a lot of times we really forget where things actually come from, I think we all, at times, feel like we want a life so much that we forget that we have one. All these guys are doing is chewing their cud. Simple kind of life, right? I asked it again. You agreeing yet? Please don't. Not for my sake. But for the sake of the truth. Because God clothes the fields with grass He feeds the bird of the air. Like that little guy that I saw back on the path. Did a little squat down too. A deep low squat too, dude. In the Image Clothing Company, I'm telling you. A lot of things actually. It's kind of hitting me hard, and especially hitting me how much I've been in the back seat. Because that's the thing, is I look back and see what all we have already. There's a lot of things placed here. A lot of universal truths for everybody across the earth. And that's what I'm looking for the rest of my life with this, you know. The less I realize I'm doing, the more happens. That's how I want it to be. I mean, that's what it really means to be used as a vessel, you know. Oh gosh. Sometimes when I'm out here walking, I just get this feeling that I just want to start stopping and drop down to the ground. Something hits me as hard as that just did, and talk about nothing breaking my stride. That'll break my stride. I'll welcome it with open arms. Getting humbled by God, getting brought to my knees, getting dropped at the feet of our Redeemer and King. I'm not joking about things when I talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's the whole point of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. And really, Metronome Madness, actually, when we talk about being offbeat with some things that are poetry, it's impactful because it's about the truth of all things. God himself. The God who dwells in all things around, both the birds of the air and the creatures of the ground. 5 days, all these things were made. On the 6th, he dropped me. But he had a different name for me at the time. He called me Adam. The man that learned a big lesson, though. Right? Because he actually did know. He went from a state of ignorance, being in a perfect, blissful place. Oh, gosh. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. To wanting to have the answers to things. Partook from the tree of the knowledge of fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. Oh, shoot. Ain't nobody gonna break my stride, huh? So I thought. All of a sudden, Adam knows all things, yeah? He gets it. He understands. Shoot. This is what it's like to be like God. Man, I'm sinning. What is it? I know what a sin is now, Adam's saying to himself. Oh, man. There it began. It all began with a simple little, hey, have a nice trip. I'll see you next fall, Adam. He woke up dusting off his knees because that's all he could do was pray. Saying, hey, I'm sorry. Gave into a temptation. Paved a way for every one of us. Thanks, Adam. But not sarcastically, because actually, as it says in the Book of Mormon, Adam felt that men might be, and men are, that they might have joy. Because you can't have joy if you don't know what it's like to not know where to find it, right? Find yourself hiding because you're naked. Naked before God. Doesn't have to be physically, although that was the case for these two human beings, the first one on the earth. And even though his wife was his helpmeet, she helped him do some things that would actually end up removing him from the presence of God. Is that crazy or what? So sometimes we feel like we're naked before God, is the point, right? Because you can't hide from God. Clothing essentially hides our bodies from those eyes around us. Sometimes we do some sins and not only that, but we'll do another one. Actually, that's why it's funny, because that in itself is a sin, is hiding. So after we do something wrong, we try to act as if we didn't. Right? I'm gonna live in a blissful state of ignorance. I didn't do it. You can hide from everybody all your life, maybe. Except the all-searching eye, the only one who has the power for saving all of us from ourselves. Yeah. Crazy or what? Metronome Madness, huh? Even that laugh in itself. Y'all taking me back to the jail. That's where I grew up, dude. I'm finally free range, right? I'm a free range organic human being. Did a freestyle one time. But you don't even know what it means. No, you don't even know what it means. A lot of us think we know what's going on, bro. That's where you'll find me sitting on the lawn, though. Start to take a peek down there, dude, at all the things crawling around in those little blades of grass. Which, if you looked at it fast and just kind of walked past, it's like, oh yeah, there's some greenery under my feet. If you look closely, though, you'll find all sorts of communities. A whole bunch of different things doing things. Yeah. Complaining about something that you don't like, but really it's the things that gives you life, right? Get stung by a bee. You say, I don't want that thing. But actually, it keeps everything else in balance. It feeds something else as it eats something else, as it pollinates something else. That's how everything in this life is, you know. We gotta realize how big life gets. When we step out of our boxes, y'all are boxed in, right? I'm over here boxing things, though. Sparring at stuff. Oh, shoot. Shadow boxing, though. In other words, trying to fight myself half the time. See what I'm saying? Trying to reach something I can never grab. Oh, shoot. The Shadow. There was this show, Bear in the Big Blue House, man. Oh, shoot. Talk about getting knocked out and waking up in a life where, oh, man, the crazier it gets, the more clear things become. I cannot express my gratitude too much. I mean, where am I right now? I know where I'm at. I've walked this path hundreds and hundreds of times. Oh my gosh. I know where I've been at different times in my life, though, where you can't really know where you're at without a light bulb. You walk outside and you realize God, well, he made a lesser one to govern the night, a greater one to govern the day. Actually, I think we can say hey to it. Where's it at? Maybe it's right in the frame this whole time as I've been moving. Just about, at least right now. Check it out, dude. That's the sun. Not the only begotten, but the only one we've got in our solar system. We're revolving around the wrong things sometimes, right? Staring into a little light in the palm of our hand. Whew. We're out of rhythm with things, man. Circadian. Yeah, you're sure caging them, all those thoughts you got. But you're putting them in like a safekeeping box. I'd rather just let things flow, right? Open the floodgates. Watch everything take a hike. Which is really what I like to do. Got some mountains too. I'm telling you, bro. The state of Utah, the United States of America. Get those poodles and poodle mixes thrown in the truck. Come hang out with us. I'm not joking about it. I'm not joking about it. Nope. So this is what I'm saying, right? Literally a sigh of relief. It's a sigh realizing that I've actually been doing things in a life, working myself to death with nothing to show for it, except for a paycheck that's gone by the time I get a paycheck. Oh, man. All right. Metronome Madness, episode 15. I used to say something like, I was 16 with big dreams. But I was mocking it, actually. Don't get mad at me. But come back to these. Hear me speak on some things, because I do have some wisdom in life. It's not about me, but I've spent a lot of time in my own mind trying to dream things up. And then I opened my eyes. I was blind, but now I see, right? I'm asking again. It didn't happen because of me, though, a human being. So, thank you. Like I said, it's the 1st of August, 2025. My name is Evan Strong. And you can tell where I'm at with this, because I'm back in it. Metronome Madness. Sucks. All right, y'all. Thank you. Oh, man. There's no way. Because I tried to go a way. Oh, shoot. Don't tell me. More things to do, huh? I'm not on empty. Finished on empty, something I heard recent about some things I'm supposed to be doing when I feel seasick. But I still got a little bit in the tank. Keep on moving when I feel I might sink. All right. I'll keep going with it. Knocked that door right off the hinges. Told you it's a floodgate. A lot of things that I feel like I must wait. You know, hold a little bit left in the tank for later. It's not living on daily bread, though. That's living with what's in my head, yo. Sometimes I get a little bit caught up on things, right? Hung on a hanger like a coat. No joke. Feel a little bit stationary because I'm hanging in the balance. And I just need to get pushed a little bit to fall overboard. Or rock backward and land on the ones of the floor, you know. Call it dead as a doornail. I say, hey, my door's sailed. Roundhouse kicked it across the street. I'm not stopping things. I tried, though. I really tried to stop this, you know. I thought I'll put this back in my pocket, except for, that's a joke. I don't put things in my pocket. Not anymore. Restricting them hip flexors and the glutes. The activation of the hip down to your boots. Up to the shoulders, you know. Got life in rotation, bro, coming full circle. Fill my cup till it runneth over. Oh shoot. Call it a rotator cuff. But keep those ones off your wrists. They come from your sleeves. Y'all out there doing things, you gotta allow your hands to work. Right? I'm asking again. I'm just basking in this sun. It's pretty warm outside, bro. I'm just gonna swarm that hive, though. Land of milk and honey. Talk about things running. I said you could never overuse the metaphor. I said it. So I'm gonna just run off at the mouth. Run off at the mouth of the canyon and go crashing through the plains. And I'm crashing too, like planes. From the highest heights to the lowest lows. Praise him in the valleys as well. Praise him on the seas with the sails atop my boat that keeps me afloat. Keep my eyes above the waves. Right. This is a real size. And seriously, it's because now I'm looking through real eyes. I wore glasses for about 2.5 years. I actually did a lot to my face right about here. Deviated septum. The temples of the frames come back and restrain the sternocleidomastoid as it connects up behind the ear. I'm not joking about these things you hear. I'm the founder of In The Image Clothing Company. I know the anatomy of the human body. We allow the body to work, but also the body of Jesus Christ to go out, and the things that we need to be spreading with people is the information on how to have eternal life. Through baptism and repentance, calling on the name of Jesus Christ. I told you I'm not done. And I'm yelling again. Where's the muzzle at, right? Call it the dynamic of a human being. Condemn me for what I have said. By all means. Because by all these things, you'll know who I am. If you take every single one of them, though, add it all up and see, all right. Right. Lots of emotion. And I won't stop with my motion. Even when I'm low on energy. Right? Because E equals MC. A lot of square heads out there. Oh shoot, rectangles though, yeah? You getting tangled, bro? Yeah. Try a different angle. See what I'm saying? I'm out here just working with words. They're pretty good employees. Wow. It's a lot different if I write it down, I'll tell you that much though. Off the top, I just know how to flow. And I think that's, beautiful, because that's how we're commanded to go. Right? Take no thought of what you will eat, what you will wear, what you will drink, or if you have enough when you get there. That's honestly what was going through my mind. Because walking down this path right next to this yellow line, haven't had much to drink at all today. part of what these sighs are about. I'm finding it now. Right? The truth that you can keep going, relying on strength that's not yours. We can't run farther than we have strength. We can't rely on our own. But we can do all things through Christ, which strengthens us. And when I say some things sometimes and I'm tripping up, you know that I really am feeling what I'm saying. And it happens often. And that's the goal too, you know. It's not only take no thought about those other things I said, but take no thought about what you're going to say. All of a sudden you start speaking things and you don't even know what it means. It turns the whole situation around for the better. And you're like, what the? I didn't even know I had it in me. But it's in all things, the Spirit of God. You know, I used to say this thing in prayer pretty often. And then I would start saying it in freestyles when I'd start talking, but talking about life being so topsy-turvy and stop me and turn me around, you know, when I'm going in the wrong direction. I'm sitting here spitting some words and letting everyone know how thirsty I am. Sometimes that's how it is. We've got the answers right in our own grasp already. Except we're not willing to accept the fact that God has us in His hands. So we'll take it into our own. We'll try to get back home and not knowing, but hoping. So, man, in all seriousness, I'm not delirious, just a little bit fatigued. The place that God likes me to be, so His strength can shine forth in my weakness. Taste and see that the Lord is good like peaches. Soft and sweet, right? You called me soft. I'd agree. I'm not like a lot of other human beings. Not your typical manly man. I don't care about watching a sports game on television. Barbecuing things in the backyard. I'm vegetarian. Water's not even something you'll catch me carrying all that often, at least. I'm walking around with this. Oh gosh, like I said, is milk. Living a paradoxical kind of life, you know. Oh, it's funny, actually. I did a freestyle one time about the paradoxical popsicle, basically, you know, turning things from warm to cold. I sort of told you it's a little bit backward. In the summertime, the water slide starts to turn to a place you'd like to run and hide, an igloo. I just really am filled with a lot of emotion, with a lot of things that are being put into motion bigger than me. I'm really seriously talking about In The Image Clothing Company. There's times and places for things, like I said, and I let myself get led astray. Trying to go too fast, you know. Lead-footed. Lost my footing. Put my foot down on the pedal. Put the pedal to the metal and got hit hard with some truth. Like a boxcar full of tools. Right? Had to work on myself a bit. I left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for a little over a year. Got rebaptized again, and now I'm back here. That's what I keep meaning when I say it like that, you know, I'm back to this. Bring it back to basics, the shoes that laced with In The Image Clothing Company shoe lacing technique. I'm gonna let some things leak and let some things probably better do a little bit of tempo type timing stuff inside this episode of Metronome Madness, right? For the sake of the title. So anyway, laying up myself some treasures in heaven. No moth or rust are gonna corrupt or destroy this. No. Got some things I'm not just toying with anymore, but I'm all in. I found myself falling right down that rabbit hole of success. Sometimes you gotta dig deep for things to start to leak. Talk about overflowing with blessings. Sometimes we get overflowed with things that bless our lives by making it harder for us at times. Scorched earth. Like a parchment paper, right? A layer of something where you can lay some things on top of. Digging deep. Right? Spring water. Getting a little bit grounded. It's the things people don't show, right? So I'm gonna start showing some things. That's what I said a little while back. And all of a sudden, here we are. I got a grasp on reality. Something that could never leave. So knots in my hair. Right. Yeah, bro. Get out of the way. Then you drop down real quick. You see what I'm saying? Hosanna. Some donkeys right here. Alright. How many times am I going to ask it? Because it doesn't matter if I am. Rode in on the back of a mule. Doing things backwards for you. and me and everybody else who seems to see a lot of things happening on the earth, telling us how to define ourselves and what defines our worth. And we sometimes can't hear through all the winds of change. That still small voice that never does. It's like a white dove or a butterfly. Some things you like. When you see, in a place that seems to see nothing inside of you. Everyone around you doing their own things. They don't really care about the person who's searching for worth inside of accolades from their fellow men. And then they don't get it. Yeah, you don't. Because that's not the point. The point is to please God. The wind's just stopped. White butterflies flying by. Oh my gosh. Emotional. It's a good thing. Oh, shoot. Yeah. This is what happens when you let go, you know. Let things just come and go as they please. Let things just happen, like the wind blowing through the trees, without trying to stabilize things and making yourself live in such a rigid kind of life. Think you're rich, but only if you can find exactly what you think you need. A lot of people passing out flyers. I'll just pass out until I die or something. Running on empty. I call myself a nice guy, you know. Self-proclaimed, I guess. Finishing last, though, right?